Good morning. Good people here already. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. Let's move the keyboard out of the way. Yeah, Friday. Where are we? Somewhere. Oh, June. June already. And it's raining. Welcome to the English summer. It's raining. Well, it's raining in Hampshire anyway. Good morning, Tina. Happy Friday to you too. Good morning, Karen. All good here. Thank you. Good evening, Sephora. June is bursting out all over. Where's that come from? Is that a song?
What?
June is bursting out all over.
I don't know.
Sounds like a song.
Okay. Do you want me to start singing?
No. It's rattling around my head from somewhere. As always, if you are watching, do please pop a hello in the comments. Today's subject is bees and honey, and there's a reason. I've had a very interesting encounter with bees this week, so that's the subject for today. So for winter arrived in New Zealand today. Probably colder here in our summer, although we had this whole kind of summer thing in April, May. That was probably the British summer, been and gone. There you go. Good morning, Emma. All good here, thank you. Yes, all good here. Well, it's absolute chaos as usual, but it's all good. I think we kind of thrive on chaos, really.
We don't.
No, we don't. It seems like this whole year's been chaos so far. Yeah, we'd like a little bit of peace and quiet. That would be lovely, thank you. But good peace and quiet. Yeah. Good whatever, I don't know, morning, afternoon. Lucky fairy queen. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Lolly from rainy Lincoln. Yes, rainy Hampshire, coming back at you. I could be really old and say the garden needs it, couldn't I? Is that really old to say that? Yeah, it is. Anyway, what have we got? Let's do the things first. So Friday morning chat, obviously continuing going forward, but on Friday the 27th of June is an extra special chat. It's a Waffling Witches with myself, Ness and Heather, and we're going to take you through our divination tools. I have my unique tarot set. I'm also learning the dice for divination purpose, so we'll take through those. Ness reads the runes, so she'll take you through her runes, her casting cloth, and everything else. She's got new casting cloth, very fancy. And Heather reads the bones and the ogham. So we'll show you how we do it, what we use, and lots of other shenanigans. That's on Friday the 27th. Usual time, usual place. There is a summer ritual and workshop online, open to everyone, somewhere in July.
I'll just put it up, 5th of July.
5th of July, there you go. Details on the Kitchen Witch Convent page, or details on it, the Kitchen Witch website too. But it's a busy time. There's a lot of folk out and about now because it is the start of the festival season. Lots of folk over in Wales today. Our Heather's there as well, doing event festival stuff. Unfortunately, I have had to cancel a couple of events I was supposed to be at this month because priorities. Little Winnie is our priority at the minute. So there's lots of stuff happening though. So it is the start of the season. Everyone will be out and about, hopefully in the sunshine, in tents and being very brave. Camping, don't do camping. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Monique. It is a bit damp out there today. It is. Hopefully the sun will come out at some point. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So yeah, it's probably going to be quiet over the next couple of months. We always notice that things do go a bit quiet because everyone's out doing their thing. So enjoy if you are camping and festivaling.
Or on holiday.
Or on holiday, yes, indeed. Our holiday's not till October.
We're having a holiday, right?
That's a long way off.
Where are we going?
Swanage. Nice. I was going to say to the seaside, but we live by the seaside, so it's a bit weird, really, isn't it? Is it weird living by the seaside and going on holiday to the seaside? Just a different seaside? Don't know. Anyway, bees. So here's my bee story. Brace yourself because it's not pleasant.
To be or not to be?
Oh, hello. Quoting a bit of Shakespeare. And what play is that from?
Yeah. Othello.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hamlet.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so 2 days ago, stepped outside the front door, thought, oh, there's a poor dead bee on the forecourt. Felt a bit sad, didn't think much of it. Walked to the gate. Bearing in mind there's not a big space from our front door to the front gate. Another dead bee. Well, that's really sad. 2 dead bees. That's weird. Anyway, went out and about. Came back yesterday. Went out in the morning. Thought, is that the same dead bee? No, there's another dead bee. That's really weird. Very strange. Very weird. Anyway, went out and about. Came back. Yesterday lunchtime we went out. And we counted 14 dead bees, all on our front forecourt. We had a look either side. So our next door neighbours had 2 just over the very low wall that we've got between us. None anywhere else. None next door, none in any of the other houses, none outside. All of them, all 14 on our front forecourt. Very, very weird. There's no flowers out the front. There's no plants out of the front. Lots of flowers in the back garden, and we get lots of bees in the back garden. No plants or flowers out at the front, but 14 dead bees. Very weird. Anyone got any thoughts or insight on that?
There must be a bee here somewhere.
Do you think there is a beehive or something? But why would they all? Yeah. I mean, we did have some heavy rain, kind of a short, sharp burst of rain, but very strange. So any thoughts on that? See what we come up with. I've got some information on bees today, and it kind of led me to honey as well. So we'll have a look at some honey magic, because that kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it? But yes, very, very strange. Ness did suggest that it was a message in that bees symbolize changes, transitions. Maybe it is the transition, my own transition from mother to crone, mother to grandmother, which makes sense, the cycle of life. But I could have done without dead bees to give me the message. It's very, very strange. So any thoughts on that would be appreciated. And we'll see what happens. So, right, let's go. Any experiences with bees, actually? Any experiences with bees? Pop them in the comments. We'll see where we go with them. Debbie, I have leaf cutter bees, solitary bees, taking sections of leaf from my Gertrude Jekyll rose. Very nice rose. I've watched them carry off the segments of leaf rolled up underneath them. It's clever, isn't it? Very clever. Sephora is going to, World of Wearable Arts this October. Amazing. Oh, that sounds interesting. Lucky Fairy Queen. Love honey, scared of bees, always end up getting bit. Well, stabbed with their bottom, really. Because that's the bit that, Sephora, that would freak me out. It did freak me out quite a lot, and it was quite upsetting. Maybe a neighbour has sprayed something and you're on their flight path. Yeah, I did think about that, but I couldn't nobody's got anything either side, or I suppose someone could have sprayed some weed killer or something, but they were all on our forecourt. None anywhere else. Very, very strange. I kind of, if that is what's happened, then perhaps I feel a bit honoured that they all came to lay to rest on our forecourt. I don't know. Very strange. Good morning, Tony. Emma, do you have a doorbell camera? No, that would have been quite useful, actually, wouldn't it? I think. No, we don't. We have Eric. He's a doorbell. Portable doorbell. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony in sunny Glenelly. If you could send some sun our way, that would be lovely, because we've just got rain. Claire, there's a bee on its last legs, been outside my front door the last few days. That's what I thought when I saw the first one, but it was actually passed into the other world. But yeah, weird, very weird. Monique, Swanage is lovely. We are very familiar with Swanage. It is lovely. Pete's band has been playing in the White Horse in Swanage for many, many years. So we have been down there quite a lot. Lovely little seaside town. We're going to Scotland a week on Sunday. I hope to meet my grandson Flynn. Excellent. So sad to find the dead bees. It was. I think Heather's right. It's a message of changes ahead for you. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is a message of changes, but 14 of them. I would have listened with just one. Karen got the song Busy, Busy Bee by Arthur Askey on my brain. Now that's going back a bit. Steve, have the council been about with pesticide? There's a thought. I haven't seen anyone. Sometimes I have seen them out and about with their little spray things, but I haven't seen any. But it could be. It was just the fact that there were 14 of them all on our forecourt and nowhere else. Very strange. Very, very strange. So bees, I don't know what you guys think. What do you think when you think of a bee? What characteristics do you think of with bee? I have worked with bee. I've got a bee tattoo up my arm. I have a ritual bee tattoo that Susie did a couple of years back now. Probably more than that, actually. Probably about 5 years now. Because I worked with bee through the perimenopause. But that's all mostly done with now. So I am familiar with bee. They are incredibly important to everything, to the ecosystem, to our food chain. Without bees, we wouldn't have any food. So they are really important. They are a representation of birth, death, and rebirth. Now, obviously, we have had a birth in the family in the last 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks ago. Maybe that is a connection, but 14 representations, bit heavy. Bees have been worshipped. They've been honoured in many cultures for thousands of years. So they are honoured, they are revered. They are often mentioned in myths and folklore. It is said they are the souls of those that were considered worthy to come back to the earth. Bees should always be told all of the gossip, especially regarding births, deaths, wedding plans. Now, I didn't tell them about Winnie's birth because we don't have a beehive near us that I know of. But you are supposed to tell them everything. Bees remind us to take the good stuff from life and to literally make hay or honey when the sun shines. So enjoy yourself, make the most of life. Bees also tell us to follow our dreams, but also with that kind of, you need a little bit of a plan to go forward and maybe to save a little bit for the future as well. Good advice, obviously. They carry the keywords prosperity. They are good fortune. They work with communication and gossip. They are a sign of reincarnation. They are about reaching your goals. They are about celebration. Obviously, we've been celebrating here as well, but really, again, 14 of them. Community, they are good with and representative of. Achieving your dreams. Productivity, because obviously they're very hard workers. cooperation as well, a lot about teamwork, working together, and also about keeping your focus on things, which is all wonderful stuff. But 14 dead ones? I don't. Why? It was quite upsetting, I have to say. Claire, maybe check the guttering on the roof. Building work could have disturbed something. Possibly. We did have a look up in the eaves and from the ground, obviously, and couldn't see anything. There is a house across the road having some work done. I investigate that a bit further. And Eric's squinking. Let's just put the dog in his bed. I say the dog in his bed. He's got his own armchair. It's not a bed. He has an armchair in every room, yeah. Sephora. It carries symbolic weight, and possibly with the new arrival, often someone elderly passes away close in time. Oh, let's not do that. Let's not have any of that. Sephora, we had that happen with arrivals of the oldest one, a great grandpa's. No, I'm not even going to think about that. Karen, would anyone that knows you are a witch have done it deliberately? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You'd have to get hold of them too, wouldn't you? Or yeah, no, I don't think. Gosh, I hope not. Tina, just Googled, good old Google. Possibly hive hygiene, taking out the old weak and dead bees. Still very sad. I don't know where there would be a hive near. I mean, I suppose there must be, because we do get a lot of bees in the garden. Yeah, it's. With your garden, you will be on a flight path. Now we've had massive sun activity, M9, and maybe it affected the older bees. Possibly. All the plants are at the back of the house. And at the front of the house, we are terraced. It's terraced houses from 1910, all brick built, all with little forecourts. So there aren't really, there's no one's really got any garden at the front. It's just a little bit of forecourt, and we keep our bins basically. And the gardens are right over the other side of the houses. Very strange. Very strange. Kerry, every year bees come for a rest and some sugar water, but that usually happens. Yes, earlier in the season we had some in the garden earlier on that were just sort of finding their way. Very weird, very weird. But it kind of prompted me to look at bees and honey. Do love honey. Actually, I think I've got lemon and honey in my drink today. Yum. So honey is one of the oldest foods known to man and to woman. Bees are really magical. They are said to be messengers from the gods and the spirit world. Now, I did wonder, because I work with the Kelech, she has stepped into the background now because she's a winter goddess. And usually she gives me someone new to work with throughout the summer. Now, I do have Sulis and I do have Belanos. They are there anyway. But I had the feeling that there's another goddess waiting in the wings somewhere. She hasn't stepped forward yet. And I did wonder if it was a message from her. But seriously, again, why send me 14 dead bees? That's just mean. But anyway, the honey is actually sacred to a lot of gods. The Egyptian god Ra, Greek goddess Artemis, Demeter, the Hindu gods Vishnu and Krishna. Honey is sacred to those. It is really beneficial from a medicinal point of view. But I think honey brings a lot of happiness. It is sunshiny, solar energy kind of happiness with it. Honey can be added to any spell work or any of your food recipes, really, to sweeten someone's mood or to sweeten their disposition. It's about thinking what honey's sweet, what it tastes like, so what it can do from the spell point of view. It also makes a really good offering to the gods, to the spirit world, and to the world of fairy as well. They like offerings of honey. Actually adding a drop of honey to any of your loose incense blends will help to sweeten the mix and to sweeten the mood when it's burnt as well. I think honey works really well from that happy, love, prosperity, abundance, all the good stuff kind of thing. Also very good for healing as well. It is sweet. It is happy. It's sunshiny. It brings all of that with it. They are, as I said earlier, they are supposed to carry the soul. Bees are supposed to carry the soul of those passed over. I do, apparently, the reason is because they have a natural ability to find their way home from great distances. So they make safe carriages for carrying souls. That's a folklore thing. Of course, you find honey in mead as well, used very, very useful for ritual, for offerings. Very delicious, very strong. I'm a bit rubbish with it. Half a glass and I'm gone. There is that whole folklore thing about telling it to the bees. And obviously I have to mention Terry Pratchett any opportunity that I can. So Granny Weatherwax gets all of her news from the bees. She tells them everything as well. They see all, they know all. They are possibly one of the most magical creatures, I think. They are associated with the element of water and of earth, and their energy is very receptive. They are very nurturing as well. So there's a lot of good stuff there. Just why 14 dead ones? I don't know. Good morning, Jackie. Thank you very much. I had a swarm of bees in the front garden this year. Local beekeeper came and got them. I did wonder whether it was worth contacting one of the local beekeepers or bee groups just to sort of say, Karen, bees travel 1 to 2 miles from their hive, but they can travel up to 5 miles. That's quite impressive, actually, isn't it? Quite impressive. Natalie, maybe it's the number 14, not the bees themselves. Possibly. Could have shown me the number some other way other than that. But good morning, Margaret. Claire, I thought the bee I saw was a positive sign, as had been under the weather. I think they generally are, aren't they? They are positive signs. Sephora, do you have trees on your street? Not on our street, but on the main street that intersects with it. There are trees all down that road. Yeah. It's weird. I don't have an answer. Just, open to all suggestions, really. But has anyone ever worked with bee from a magical point of view? Do you work with bee? Are there any particular characteristics or personalities or magic they've helped you with? Are there any situations where you would call on bee or the energy or spirit of bee to help you with? I did throughout the perimenopause, and they were very, very useful in that. I also do work with honey a lot. I like to work with honey jar spells. So when we have, I get through quite a lot of honey. When we have an empty honey jar, keep it. Don't wash it up. Just leave the dregs of the honey in it, and you can make a honey jar spell. You can use it to sweeten a person. You can use it to bring people together after an argument. You can just use it to, if you want to sweeten up someone, your boss for a pay rise or something, that would work too. But it's quite a nice spell to work with, just to make the energy in your home positive. And it's called a honey jar spell. So you have your jar, obviously, with your metal lid, honey dregs in it if you've got one, or you can use a clean jam jar and put honey in it. So you need your jar, you need some honey. Golden syrup works too, sugar works as well. Piece of paper, pencil. I think it helps to put a personal item in, so it might be a piece of your hair or a nail clipping. Not necessarily, but it helps. A candle and dressing oil if you want it. So take your jar. If it's already got honey in it, brilliant. If it hasn't, add some honey to it. Write the person's name on the slip of paper that you want to sweeten. or you could just write your house family name or write the household. I think write it 3 times, each time on a separate line. Turn the slip of paper clockwise, write it again 3 times over the top of the others. You can do that 3, 6, 9 times. Entirely up to you. So the names will cross each other. In the space around the edge of the paper, you can write your wish if you want to. You could write happiness, you could write to sweeten, you could write positive energy, whatever takes your fancy. Then you pop that in your jar. Fold it towards you. If the piece of paper is a bit big, fold it towards you to bring positive energy in. Turn it, fold it towards you to bring positive energy in. Pop it in the jar. You can add other things to the jar if you want. You could add other herbs. You could add spices. Rose petals for love would work quite well. Cloves for friendship. Whatever you're drawn to put in there, really. But it's the honey, it's the sweetness that makes the most important part of the spell. If you want to add extra, you can add a bit of sugar on top as well. I think as you've worked the spell then to that point, you could eat a spoonful of honey as well, stating your wish out loud after you've eaten the honey. Once you've got your piece of paper, a honey, and anything else you're going to add in the jar, put the lid on. You can then dress your candle with oil if you want to. Correspond the colour of the candle to your intent. So I would probably go with yellow because it's a happy, positive colour. You could do orange because that's a success colour. And then you put the candle on top of the lid. Drop a few drops of melted wax on the lid and then set the candle in it. You light the candle. You let it burn fully. You don't have to do it all in one go. You can snuff it out and come back to it. But if you can, sit with it. Burn the candle down. And then your spell's done. It's worked. It's sorted. The candle burning on top of the jar kind of kicks the spell into action. It gives it a kind of boost. It makes things happen a little bit faster, I think, anyway. And there's your honey spell to make things better, to make things positive, to make things happy. I did wonder, actually, this is a bit weird, possibly. Heatherness and I have been making some animal hoard boxes, and we have been using dead things. We have been using, we did an owl one where Heather used owl pellets in it. We did a deer one that had antler in, nested a crow one that had crow feathers and crow vertebrae in. We are working on some new ones. We have various parts of dead creatures in the cupboard ready to make the hoards. Was I supposed to make bee hoards from them? I don't know. It was another thought that went through my head. Emily, your story about the bees and sensing a new goddess made me think of Nantuswelta. Ah, she carries a beehive and her name apparently means sun-warmed valley. Interesting. I did have a think about bee goddesses. The one that sprung to my mind was Melissa, who is a Greek goddess of the bees. And yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought about Nantusvelta. Interesting. Sephora, the bees may have been swarming and a group lost the plot. Do you think perhaps got a bit redirected somehow? Claire, maybe guard prosperity if at the front door. It was right. It was in the pathway from the front door to the gate. So yes, I mean the house has protection and stuff on it anyway. But yes, maybe it needs a bit of a boost. Ruby, someone may have tried to kill a swarm on their property and your bodies are the sick ones that didn't make it when they passed your house. Could be. It's just there wasn't any anywhere else. They were right bang smack in the front of our house. None either side, none further down the road. I'm hoping that's what it is, if that sounds weird. Or not really, because if people had tried to kill them, that's just mean. And yeah, I should be sending that energy back to them. Sephora. Bees have always been important to me, and we've planted our rural property with year-round bee food. Plus, this year they like drinking from the chicken's water supply. Now, I do, yes, they do like a bit of a drink, don't they? We have a bird bath in the garden, and I always make sure to put, it's quite shallow, I always make sure to put some pebbles in it so that if bees want to drink, they can sit on the pebbles. So I do look after them. Yeah, might be mine, a bee box. I didn't actually collect them. I will go out there in a minute and see if there's any still out there. Maybe, but that's quite dramatic, isn't it? Debbie. Artemis at Ephesus, city of the bees. There are goddess figures with breasts or bee pollen covering the front of the figure. Artemis is one of the goddess figures, isn't she? Oh, am I missing the Facebook ones again? Let's have a scroll back. Oh, I think you could be right. It's not showing me the Facebook ones again. Right, let's sort that out. Sybil, yes, that's another one, isn't it? Right, let's get the Facebook ones up. Let's get them up. Good old technology, eh? Let's just get the Facebook ones up on Facebook, funnily enough. Bear with me while I sort that out. Oh, the screens are messing about now. Come on. Stop being silly. Right, let's get Facebook. Let's. Oh yeah, I've missed lots on Facebook. Right, let's go through some of these. Sorry about that. Okay, now that's not letting me see those either. Do you know what? It better not be one of those days.
What was your lack of sleep?
No, my lack of sleep. No.
I'm moving out now.
It's telling me there's 56 comments. It's only showing me 4. So, David. Good morning, David. Let's move this over here. Let's move that over there. It is doing very silly things. Very silly things. Right. Dead bees. It sounds like it was a swarm that was resting while looking out for a new place. And these ones might have been on the outside of the group, sacrificing themselves to keep the swarm alive. Do you think? I do hope that it's something like that. Yeah. It's not fun. Are there 14 tiny headstones in your garden now? Oh, yeah, I did. It was very upsetting. Jalala, you may lead my royal army. Maria, I have a bag of 3 bees hanging in my front room protection. I have those too, Maria, that you sent to me. I do still have those. Thank you very much. Yes. Bees are protection as well, aren't they? I hope I've picked up. I can't see any more comments on Facebook. Stupid machines. Xenia, hello, good morning. Right, I have got Facebook up now. Hopefully it's showing me all of. Well, we don't need me, do we? You can hear me in tandem, stereo. That's the word, isn't it? Oh, I've missed lots. Look, let's go right back up. Jalala says fluffy bottoms. That's the bees. I'm assuming, not me. Jill, if I'm feeling like things have got to be hard, B reminds me to get on with it. Yeah, that makes sense. Xenia, I'm always sad when bees or wasps are inside undetected and don't find their way out, and then I find them dead. Yes, on a windowsill or something. It's horrible. Angela, we have what I call Sam bees because they have bright ginger fluffy butts, same colour as my daughter Sam's hair. That's nice. Jill got stung by one the other day and felt so sad because I knew it was going to die and it was my fault as I didn't see it when I went to open the door. It is sad, isn't it? It is quite distressing. We have a native bee in Western Australia that has blue bands instead of yellow. That's quite funky. You have punk bees. Cliff, possibly gas methane can kill bees. Yeah, I wonder what I'm hoping it's something natural. Good morning, Christine. Local councils sometimes spray with weed killer instead of pulling up weeds on the side of the road, and farmers spraying time too. I don't think there's not farms near us, but it could be councils spraying with weed killer. Good morning, Anne. Angela, the number 14, associated with spiritual growth, self-awareness, personal transformation, and embracing change. Well, yeah, we've got all of that. We have got all of that. Jane, we had a wasp's nest in our loft just above the bathroom window. When it was time for the workers to weaken and die, they flew in the window instead of the nest, and every day I had to clear dozens of dead and dying wasps away. Maybe bees do something similar, though it's a bit early in the year for it. Yeah, I am hoping it's something natural. I am. Maria, yes, I think I might just message a beekeeper and see if they can help. Yeah. Jalala, never been stung by a bee or a wasp or anything ever. I did when I was a kid. I fell over into a swarm of angry wasps. Not one of them stung me, but the man who came to rescue me got stung from head to foot. Wow. So I either smell like poop to them or I am, in fact, the queen of the wasps. I'd go with the queen of the wasps. That's quite a fantastic title, isn't it? Yeah, I'd take that one. Jill, sorry I missed all of these. I did think it was a bit quiet. Jill, when bees become old or sick, they don't go back to the hive to die. They will stay in the garden or on flowers. This is to avoid making the rest of the hive sick or the bees to take care of taking the dead bees out of the hive. That's quite thoughtful of them, isn't it? There are no plants at the front. They were all literally on the forecourt. Very strange. Angela, so combine the symbolism of number 14 and the message of the bees and it will probably make more sense. It does make sense, doesn't it? The actual meanings of it all. Cliff, there was an interesting bit on last night's Spring Watch about mimic hoverflies. There are hoverflies that mimic bees, wasps, or hornets. The way to tell the difference is that mimic hoverflies have large compound eyes. Interesting. Jalala, you could write to Sweeten became. You can write to Sweden in the subtitles. Oh, okay. Not quite the same thing. David, wasps do get a bad rep. They do, don't they? Either it's folklore based or because they don't do things humans can exploit, like making honey, but either way it's undeserved. They do have a place, don't they? And I think sometimes people forget that wasps do have a big part in the ecosystem. They are pollinators. That's very useful. Very useful. Susie Nansosvelta is a local goddess for us in Surrey, as we use the ruins of one of her temples as a ritual site. I did write about her in the Gods and Goddesses of England book. Not everyone interprets her so-called beehive as a beehive. Personally, I see it as a cottage. Apart from the gorse around the temple, there's no great bee presence. Interesting. Yeah, I did write about her, so I might look her up anyway. David, hives split every so often to keep numbers within manageable. The old queen leaves, taking about half the hive to find a new home. It's the right time of year for them to do it. Maybe it was just a, mass evacuation. I don't know. It is one of those stupid tech days, Xenia. Yes, it is. I found you all now. Sorry about that. Emma. Could be a combination of both number of the bees and the bees themselves.
Number of the beast, did you say?
Number of the beast. Number of the beast. 666.
Didn't realise they were singing about bees.
Yeah, maybe it's not bees. Maybe it's beasts.
Yeah.
Angela, bees carry their dead and dying away from the hive and often drop them all in one area far enough away from the hive. Do you think it is a bee cemetery? I will go out there in a minute and see if there are any still left there because it has rained. I will look after them. Jackie, there are mortuary bees that take dead bees out of the hive, but that would not explain your dead bees in the garden unless you have a hive. No, and it's not even in the garden. It's on the forecourt, which is ceramic tile jobbies. There's no flowers. There's no plants there. Maybe it is a Yeah. Maria likes the Iron Maiden reference. I thought you might. I like that song, actually. Maria, I like hoverflies. They remind me of fairies flying. Hoverflies are good too, aren't they? They eat greenfly and things like that. So we like hoverflies. It is a conundrum, for sure. Did you like that's my word of the day?
Word, yeah.
Conundrum. It is. I think, I had stopped working with B because menopause, nearly gone. Maybe I will need to look back into it. I will go and see if there's any still out there. Maybe I am supposed to save them so Heather and Ness can play with dead things. I do like dead things. It's. I think they are really magical. And there is so much folklore and history about bees as well. They are very sacred in quite a lot of the cultures. So it is interesting. Yeah, Senia, queen of the beasts. I quite like to be queen of the beasts. Quite like to be queen. No, I wouldn't actually. That's far too much work, isn't it? No one would want to do that, really. I think it. I'm hoping it's a natural occurrence, and I'm kind of hoping that I can kind of feel honoured that they all came and had their last moments on my property. I don't feel that it's an omen. I don't feel that it's a bad omen of any kind. I do feel it is a message of some sort. I kind of got it in my head that it is a goddess message of some sort, but I'm not sure. I think it might be a combination of things. Had forgotten about Nantos Felter. I am going to look her. Yes, I'm going to look into her because that kind of it's ringing a little bell. Light bulb. It's kind of sounding off a little alarm in my head. Angela, you might have someone near you with a hive in their garden. My brother had a hive in the garden of his terraced house in Guildford, and his garden was about the same size as yours. I am very familiar with Guildford, actually. I spent a lot of my teenage years in Godalming, just down from Guildford. That's where all of my family come from. Not that that's relevant to anything, but yeah, people do have beehives in city gardens, don't they? They have them on roofs of big buildings and things as well. So, yeah. Jane says, I've got Flight of the Bumblebee as an earworm now. Yes. Things have been pretty chaotic for us too, Jane. Maybe it is that it's the chaos of bees. Although I think bees are quite organised, aren't they? Maybe that's the thing as well, to get a bit more organised. We're kind of treading water here at the minute. Maybe that's part of it. Eve, keep them. There's a few hoard boxes there. Yes, I didn't think about it yesterday. I think I was just a bit shocked to find them all there, and that kind of threw me a bit. I will go out today and see if there's any still out there. Xenia can play with dead things. Yeah, it's Heather, really. She's the bad influence. She's the one that loves playing with dead things. And we've got lots of dead things lined up to make into hoards. So keep an eye out for dead thing hoards. Maria, if you want to look at it a different way, perhaps it's new beginnings and endings of others, way forwards. Yes, that was what Ness was saying yesterday, and I think that's part of it. The bee is very much representative of the cycle of life, death, rebirth, that whole cycle of things, and that is what's happening in our house here today. The last couple of weeks, obviously. Ness suggested as well that it was that a kind of message about moving from mother to crone, which I've kind of been resisting. Not for any reason other than I don't feel I'm anywhere near wise enough to be a crone yet. But maybe that is part of it. Maybe it is that transitioning to the crone as well. Your children are ready for Grandad Taxi, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Have a nice day. Give Winnie a hug for me. Pinch those lower cheeks. Oh, lovely little Winnie's still in the hospital, but she's getting plumper by the day. Plumper. And she's got no feeding tubes or attachments, or she just needs to be a bit more plumptious. She will. Yeah, I think perhaps it is that progression. It is the next stage into cronehood, which is quite scary when you think about it. But Trudy, are they honeybees or bumblebees? I missed the first few minutes of the chat. They're not. I don't. They're not quite big enough to be bumblebees. I don't think. I didn't look closely. It was all a bit horrible. Hoping there's still some out there today, and I will. Don't step on them when you go out, because I'm going to go.
Bring them in.
I'm going.
They can join in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm going to pick them up in a minute. So I will look at them further and investigate to see if I can work it out. Sorry, I'm just seeing lots of dead things comments now. Eve, I keep dead things in kitchen cupboards. What? So yes, I have lots of dead things stuff in the dresser in the kitchen. Why wouldn't you, really? Jane, organised chaos. Yes, we've got more chaos scheduled for Monday when the blasted cavity wall people come back to do even more remedial work. That sounds like not fun at all. Never ever say yes to someone cold calling about free wall insulation. They'll tell you it'll take 3 days and 3 hours, and it ends up taking 3 days, and the mess. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Hopefully the end result will be worth it though, Jane. Maria, she's so sweet. She is. Her eyes are so big. Like a bee, yeah. She is. I think she's Pixie, actually. I think she's Pixie. Bless her. Little cotton socks. Xenia, maybe a message for raising awareness for bees, not using weed killers and other poisons. I think you might be onto something there, actually, Xenia. I think I've got a lot of ideas in my head, as always, about things going forward, about new projects, new ideas. I'm thinking there might be something to that too. I think there might be a goddess involved in it. I think there might be a community thing involved, and I think it might have bees. I'm just putting that out there to work on. Heather is Queen of the Dead Things, Xenia. She is. Let's put it out there so that we get that in writing. Look, Heather, Queen of the Dead Things. I can be rude about Heather today because she's away in Wales. I know she's not watching. Sephora, I made the mistake of disturbing a bumblebee nest in the frost cloth in my she shed. Frantic crossness. Oh, well, you can understand that, can't you? I mean, there you are, just in your hive doing your thing, and people disturb you. I can understand that they would be upset about that. But I am hoping that it is something natural that has caused it. But I think there's a whole lot of messages in there. I think there's messages for me and perhaps even Kitchen Witch as well, for life, for things going forward. I think there are a whole load of messages in there, and maybe a prompt as well, that although I worked with Bee quite a lot during my whole perimenopause, quite a span of, I think I worked with Bee for about 5 years, something like that, but I haven't done for the last year or so. So maybe it is a, hey, we're still here and you haven't done anything about it kind of thing as well. So I will look into that. I think it's important whenever there are messages from animals, or what you think are messages from animals, it's important to decide whether it is just animals doing their own thing as they naturally would. Like, for instance, we get foxes around here a lot. It's very rarely a message for me. It's just foxes coming into the cities now looking for food. So it is about noticing, actually, I'm pretty sure 14 dead bees on your doorstep is a message of some kind. So it is about, whenever these things happened, it is about deciding, is that something I need to take notice of, or is it just a natural thing that, happens? But yeah. Maria, my instincts are telling me they want you to do something with and for them. Yes, I think you're right, Maria. It is a real kind of, excuse me. You need to be doing something. Yeah. Definitely. multi Multi-lensed and able to see ultraviolet light. We're talking about my granddaughter. She's very special, I know. Definitely part pixie. Christine, do you have a visiting cat? We do. She's trying to annoy Eric by leaving bees on the front. We do. Eric quite regularly barks at cats that try and come in the back garden. Um, Eve, 1B probably would not get your attention. 14 has, I think, a message. Yeah, it is a message. It is a message. I mean, I'm hoping, as I say, that the actual them passing was a natural thing. But I think the fact that it all arrived on pretty much on my doorstep is a message for sure. Claire, maybe related to navigating life, managed to end up in hospital with my vestibular system going out of balance. That's not fun. We are very familiar with hospitals. Winnie was born 2 weeks ago yesterday. And my daughter was in hospital for 2 days before that, before they did the whole emergency C-section jobby. And Winnie's obviously still in the hospital. So we are very familiar with hospitals. They have been brilliant, I have to say. The maternity ward, the NICU ward at QA Hospital in Portsmouth have been absolutely fantastic. So hospitals, very familiar. But hopefully you got yours sorted, Claire. Emma, as you always say, follow your intuition. You are very, very wise, Emma. Yes. Yeah, I just wish I knew what it was all about. But yeah, I think this is a case of listening to my own advice, trusting my intuition that it is a message, but doing some investigation. So I will be setting up some meditations. I'm going to hedge ride as well because I want to go over to the other world and see what's going on. But I've been looking into bee and into honey and all of that side of it as well. But hopefully the hedge ride will give me some answers, but that takes a bit of setting up. And when you've got a house full of people, because my daughter and her husband are staying with us at the moment as well, you don't get a lot of minutes quiet to do hedge riding. But I will look into it. Maria, to be honest, I saw bees very early on this year, so maybe their life cycles are ending sooner. Yes, they were out early, weren't they? Perhaps because we had such a warm April, they were out a bit earlier. Jane, maybe there was a swarm flying with the wind and the weakest few were caught by an eddy that dumped them on your forecourt. Does the prevailing wind go across the front of your house? Yes, it could well be that. Kerry, getting grandchild number 13. Wow. At the end of the year. Going to be there watching the birth as I was for most of the rest of them. Yuck. Does it make me a very bad grandma? I was not there for the birth. Although it was a C-section, so they probably wouldn't have let me in anyway. Yes, she is our first grandchild. Our daughter and her husband, that's their first great-grandchild too, actually. So she's very special. 13, that is quite impressive, Kerry, quite impressive. Blessings, definitely blessings. Actually, blessings and bees goes together quite well. Bees do bring blessings. That kind of encapsulates a lot of what they're about as well. So, yeah. Karen, I saw a bee about in December going among the flowers still out. That's part of it, isn't it, as well? I think that the seasons are so messed up at the moment. We had pelargoniums and roses flowering in December. That's just wrong on lots of levels. Mother Nature is very confused at the moment. Everything's a bit out of whack. I mean, we are the first week of June and all sorts of stuff's flowering in our garden that shouldn't be flowering yet. So everything is a little bit out of whack as well. So that might actually explain it. It is an interesting situation. It's not something I have experienced before. 14 dead bees on your doorstep. I'm used to getting messages from animals. I'm very used to working with animal spirits. It is one of the areas of the craft that I absolutely love. this has kind of thrown me a bit, I think, because it's so unusual. Sephora, Winnie the Pooh, honeybees. Yeah. Well, actually, Winnie's named after my mother-in-law. She's Winnie Violet, so she's named after my mother-in-law and after my nan. But yes, I hadn't thought about the Winnie the Pooh and the honeybees connection. That kind of makes sense too, doesn't it? Ruby, I feel their bodies were gifted to you. Yes, yes. Having sort of slept on it and thought about it, I think you're right. Monique, I had 3 months in hospital when I had my daughter. Wow. Thankfully, she was 6 weeks early and just perfect. Your little granddaughter is gorgeous and has my late grandmother's name as a second name too. Yes, Violet was my maternal grandmother's name. Yes, she was 5 weeks early, bless her. So she's teeny tiny. She was born at £3 8 ounces. Teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. Maria, it's nature, nurture, bound. I like that. Jane, I wonder if some bees can last longer with our mild winters and they can actually go on for a season and a bit before expiring. I don't know a huge amount about bees, which is what I'm going to dig into a bit as well. I don't think they live that long, do they? I don't think their lifespans are very long, but I am going to delve into it. David, 14 dead bees on the doorstep sounds like a title to a Grimm's fairy tale or an old country and western song. I do like Grimm TV series, brilliant. Jane, when the cavity wool worker bees are buzzing round our hive on Monday, I'll be smoking them out with responsibly sourced Palo Santo wood. Good plan. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, good plan. Kerry, this child will be my youngest son's first baby. The other 2 kids had 6 babies each. Wow. I mean, it's so excited as it's their first baby. It's all exciting, isn't it? New life is always exciting. So there you go. It's chaos here as usual. Angela, also big solar geomagnetic storm over the last few days, long duration rather than large. It will have affected anything that uses the Earth's magnetic field for life and navigation. Interesting. Yes, I thank you everyone for your comments, your thoughts and your advice. It was a bit weird, but it has, I say, been a bit chaotic here, but we're yeah, it's good. I am going to do some investigating into it. It is a message for sure, and I think I need to feel honoured that they presented themselves to me in their last moments. So, Karen just Googled why you would find 14 bees in a small area. Good reading. I haven't Googled yet. I will do. Thank you. Christine, still love bees, but can never eat honey. Bee spit. It is really, isn't it? Would you like some bee vomit on your toast? Yes. So there you go. That was my interesting thing that happened yesterday. Sephora, I shall go forth and carefully sweep bees. Maria, new life, new beginnings, new adventures. Yes, definitely. David, sudden temperature drop out the front could have caught them off guard. It did change suddenly yesterday, and there was quite a heavy rain shower as well. Yes, I am hoping there will be natural reasons why. But yes, definitely a message. So we'll see where it takes me. Jane, can we talk about the crossover between witchcraft and paranormal stuff one day? Things like conjuring imps, etc. Interesting subject. Jalala Googled. I am going to go and Google now. I'm going to go and check for bee bodies. Then I'm going to Google. Thank you, everyone, for your advice, for being here, really. Thank you. I'd be talking to myself otherwise. All interesting stuff. So enjoy your weeks. Look out for bees. Give them a bit of a nod when in passing. Thank you, everyone. I'm off to sweep up dead bodies. Take care, everyone, and have a good week.